Hi, Andrea. Hi, Mary R. Hi, Betty G. Hi, Thelma. Good to see everybody. Hey, this is going to be fun. I've been sitting here working on this box trying to do just in time card making, and I'm really liking the way it's coming together. So it'll be fun to work on it together. Oh, how's everybody out there? I cut that too short.
We currently have Betty, Thelma, Mary R, Andrea, and
Betty G.
there was Annette.
Oh, Annette. Hi, Annette. I'm not sure I said hello. So I'll say hello again just in case. How's my twin? Okay. Just giving everybody just a second to get here. I thought I would try and tie a bow for my little box and see what I think about this ribbon. So here's my thought on our Christmas boxes. We'll put one together today, and then if you guys like the supplies that I'm using, I will put together a kit for you. This paper I'm using is not yet listed, but I thought I might break it up into multiple kits so that they're not so singularly expensive. And I'm using the last of the Hunky Dory Victorian Christmas little book pages. So I thought we could actually kind of split that little book up too, since all of them have, since we have so many nice pages, then if you like what I'm doing and you want to do something similar, you'd have the pages to use that too, since we are now out of the little books. So that's my thought on our progression of activity here. I'm trying to tie this bow with double-faced ribbon, and while I love the look and versatility of double-sided ribbon, it is a kind of a horse of a different color to use because it, for all it has to offer and having a satin on both sides, it's much, much heavier because of the satin finish on both sides. But I do think it's going to look good on my box, so I'm going with it.
Mary R would like to know what is the weight of your paper tonight?
300 GSM. This paper that we're using tonight is from Crafter's Companion, and this is the one we're using tonight is the Old Fashioned Christmas. And then there is another paper pack that I will be listing when I list the kits to this one that is done on 300 GSM Centura Pearl by Crafter's Companion, and it's snow scenes. And that also is beautiful.
Sign me up.
I gravitated to that one and wanted to do it. But Brittany said, look, you have more of these. You make something beautiful from this, and you save those blue ones for your customers. So see, Brittany's looking out for you yet again, guys. Yet again. And telling me I can't do what I want. Let me show you what I've been working on. This will be our project for tonight. This is my box lid. I've decided I'm going to give this box to my mother, so I used the little book page that says Christmas greetings to and from, and I said to Mom with love from Deb and Bryce. And then here is our box, and I'm not done with the inside, but I'll tell you where we're going with it. Of course, I have my gift box, and I haven't decided with certainty whether there'll be a piece of jewelry in here. Probably, because my mom loves jewelry. No?
No, it should be a lump of coal.
A lump of coal.
It's such a nice, pretty box. And you can
Speaking of my mother, there she is. So we'll call her back later. But in the meantime, we'll have Rocky.
Her ears are burning.
I have these little pockets in front here, and I have some really cute little, and our kit will include these if you want it. I have these really cute little card charms, and I thought my mom loves to read, and I thought I might make a couple little mini bookmarks with a charm on them to go in these little, in a couple of these pockets. And then I'm going to do some special mom things. I'm going to give her some coupons for some different things. So we're going to have one that will be a dinner out at the restaurant of your choice, and one that will be a day at the beach, and a variety of different coupons to go in the little pockets. And then the way I've put 4 pockets on the inside here. I'm not sure that wasn't a little bit of a mistake, to tell you the truth, because these pockets are little. They're very little. And because they're very little, it's challenging to fill 4 of those little tiny pockets, but I'll figure out something. I've put Victorian images on some of my little tabs. Now this one, I'm going to put some family pictures in. I'll put a picture, I don't know which pictures yet, but this little 3-way fold out, I'm going to put some family pictures in this one. And then I'll probably put a Christmas quote on the front of it. Here's another one of my Victorian images I put in. This one still needs something. I put my Victorian Santa there. I'm just going to go around and we'll look at the different sides. So I've got my little pocket. This is it may not be close enough to see, but it's a grouping of people outside a church. There's my angel with her harp. This one is a bigger pocket. I most certainly could do quite a few things with this one. So I've got this nice big pocket. This would be a great place for a picture or a gift card. Good gift cards would be great in these bigger ones. That's a great idea. I think maybe I'll do that. And then I've got my beautiful robin. We can put the images in the kit. That's what I was saying. I have limited number of little books, but I can break up the books that I have and make sure everybody has all the same images I have. Here's another fold out for pictures. And then I've got that pretty little image. And this tab needs something. Oh, is that the same one I just did? It was, huh? Sorry. I thought I changed sides. Okay, so here we go again. Here's a little foresty Santa and a Santa holding children. I'm using all the Victorian kind of images. And then I put a quote on this one that says, "What is Christmas? It's tenderness for the past, courage for the present, hope for the future. It's fervent wish that every cup may overflow with blessings, rich and eternal, and that every path may lead to peace." And that's by Agnes May Farrow. But isn't that pretty for a Victorian card? I thought the past, the present, the future was a nice reference. Here's another one. I love the way these verses fit at the bottom of the pockets. I think that looks really pretty. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Did you know that was written by the poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow? It was. And there's a Victorian image at the back here. Trade sides again. And I've got my pocket. I've got my Victorian image. I've got my family photos. Going to go in this fold out. Instead of cutting these off or gate folding them, I just made triple wide fold outs because I thought for photos that would be really nice. And then a little angel. My mom's very traditional with Christmas, so she'll love this. And a little Christmas tree at the back. And then, did we see this one already? I don't think I read you the scriptures. Or this one says, "Christmas is not a time or a season, but a state of mind. To cherish peace and goodwill, to be plenteous in mercy, to have real spirit of Christmas." Calvin Coolidge. And this one says, Christmas waves a magic wand over the world, and behold, everything is softer and more beautiful. That's by Norman Vincent Peale. And then we've got the robin at the back of that one. So I think we've been through all the tabs now. So I like I like where I am. I'm not finished, but you can kind of see where I'm going. So I think our kits will include the papers I've used on this. They will include the pictures I'm using on this, and you'll get at least one card charm. I'll have to see how they divvy up in the packages, but at least one card charm. So how's that sound for our kits? Oh, and the ribbon, because I found some ribbon that I think is a really good match for this. So I'll give you enough ribbon to do a crossover on the inside box and a crossover with a bow on the outside box. Are we ready to go? Let's go. Okay, I'm going to set that there so I can reference it. And let's get our explosion board out here. Somehow, what are you guys working on tonight? It's nice to know you guys are working on something when I'm working on something, because it makes me feel not so conspicuous. So yeah, I'll get these up tonight, Mary. Okay, so my first piece of paper is going to be a 12 by 12. I want this on the outside because I think this is really beautiful. This paper actually has, it is technically, it doesn't, because of the colors, it doesn't show a great deal, but this is technically a Centura pearl too. Can you see the pearly sheen just a little bit there? This is actually a pearly sheen on this, although it's not as conspicuous. Yeah, it's a little bit more muted because of the colors they've chosen on it. And it's not super, super duper pearly, which actually, given the vintage, I'm drinking Diet Coke. Sure, that works.
Betty G's doing Christmas cards.
Oh, okay, there you go. Thank you, Betty G. Glad you guys are out there working too, because it will make me feel not so conspicuous about working here in front of you. Okay, so it's somehow when you have the kits, it makes me feel like we're in this together. When I'm doing this one, where obviously no one has the kits because I've been putting it together today.
Anne is wrapping presents for her son's 26th birthday.
Oh, he's 26. Yay.
How do they grow so fast?
I don't know.
My last one just turned 27.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. Oh, and thank you everyone for the welcome backs. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so I've got my 12 by 12 piece of paper here. I'm going to go ahead, and if I reference my chart on my board, and I'm going to use the line that says extra, extra large. So I'm going to go to my 12 by 12. That is the extra, extra large one at the very outside edge, and I'm going to score it down all the way to the bottom. Now I'm going to turn my paper a quarter turn, and I'm going to score it again using the same line. I'm going to turn my page a quarter of a turn. I'm going to score it again using the same line. And I'm going to turn my page a quarter of a turn, and I'm going to score it again using this. Oops. If I keep my tool in the slot, I will. Now I can feel where my score lines are. I'm going to start in the corner because this is a box. I need to score the corners in. So there's a little line coming from the corner, and I'm going to score right along that line until I feel it hit the notch where I have scored it before. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to find my score line, and I'm going to score right until I feel it hit that little notch where the score line is. I'm going to do that on all four sides. So this is side number 3 and side number 4. And it's convenient because using your scoring tool, when you hit that line where you have previously scored it, as long as you're paying attention, your score tool will actually stop there. So you get a nice clean score line. Now, because this is my outside edge, I want to give it my pretty little heart shapes on the outside. So I'm going to take my explosion box ring here, and this has all these different heart shapes for my different sizes of boxes. I'm going to find the one that's the largest that says XXL, and I'm going to use that. And I'm going to match my tool. I know that many of you have done this before, so this may be rudimentary, but it's a good reminder about what we're doing. I tell you, I messed up a piece of paper or two when I started back doing these, because even though I did several of them before, I just forgot things, you know? So it's good to have a reminder and to, go back to the basics here. I'm going to line this up right along my 2 score lines, and it's pretty important to get in there straight. And I'm going to just draw my cut line to cut off this top portion and give me a good clean cutting line. I'm going to go to my next corner. I'm going to create my cut line. Now, this might seem like this is a slow process if this is your first time seeing this, and this part is a little bit slow, but we're only doing this once. We're not going to do this on all of our pieces. We're only going to do this on our first. So whatever the size of box is that you're building, the largest box will be a 4x4 cube. That's the largest you can get using this tool and this size paper. But whatever the size you're building, only the outside box gets this treatment here. See, that's one of the things I forgot. And the first box that I did when I started back, I did this on all the layers, and then I had to cut them off, and I couldn't do any pockets because when I folded them over, I had a funny shape that just didn't work well as a pocket. So important, we only do this on the outside layer. Okay, one more corner. Can you read the comments and
Sure.
while I'm working, because
Okay.
this requires a little more concentration than some things.
Sorry, I was doing a math for our velvet packs because we have lots of it in. They're beautiful. Okay. Looks Mary R is doing Get Well cards, and she's taking notes while she does it.
Good.
Andrea likes this, that it's very different from your first box.
Yeah, it's very different.
Let's see, and then Annette says her oldest is 38 and youngest granddaughter is first on the 21st, and her brother's birthday is the 28th. Those are 2 birthdays right close together, aren't they? And my mom is joined, and she says that my dad is fast asleep in the big chair, so she's watching on her phone because she doesn't want to bother him with the TV. She says that she thinks that Emma, my granddaughter, played hard and wore him out.
I tell you, that is a kid who loves her grandma and grandpa. Oh boy, she's lucky to have such attentive grandparents, and they certainly are. Glenda and her husband both are just fabulous grandparents. Great grandparents, actually.
Great grandparents. Yeah.
She's got some pretty fabulous grandparents too, to be helping out and raising Emma the way you are, Margie. It's a kind and loving grandparent who will put your life on hold and raise your grandchild.
It's important.
It's very important. There's nothing more important, is there?
I don't think so. That's why that's why I did it.
Remember, when you're cutting with scissors, it is way easier to keep your cutting blade straight and move that paper. Don't move your scissors, move your paper. It gives you a lot smoother cutting line.
Mary R says Emma likes to be in front of the camera too, just like her grandma. No, she loves being in front of the camera. Me, not so much.
You guys ought to see Margie, how nervous she gets before she goes on camera. She does it, and I'm so very proud of her, because at first she said, there's one thing you won't get me to do. I'll take the videos, but I'm not going on camera. And look how many times she's been on camera now. Because she's a good soldier, and she will jump right in and do what needs doing. So I'm proud of that. Okay, one last one to go here. Then we'll fold on our score lines, and we will have the beginnings of our box going. It's also important when you're drawing these lines with your heart that you go to the line, but don't go too far down that line when you're cutting this edge here, or you end up having funny gaps. Oops, I'm pointing to something. Don't go too deep here. Go just to where the two lines meet. Don't cut down too deep, or you'll have a funny line in the outside of your box. It will gap there. So go just to where you have to go to get your general heart shape, and stop. Don't go too far.
Betty G says that it's the last day of her current job, and she gets a week's vacation, and then she starts her new job.
Oh.
Looking forward to having some time off.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to fold on my score lines. And we'll have the beginnings of our box. I'm folding on all 4 straight lines first. Now I'm going to fold in my score lines in the corner. See there? I'm going to fold in on that heart. And we get that wonderful box shape going. It's just that easy. And see, the scoreboard did all the work. It did all the measuring. It did all the scoring. All we have to do is hold the tool and let it do its thing. How did you find out about your job? Oh, Betty G question. Okay, there we go. All right, our next layer. Did you have a question, Margie?
Betty says that she's going to Iowa with her sister to our old hometown for a book signing.
Oh, fun. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this sticky bow on, because if I don't, I'm going to end up laying a piece of paper on it. And I don't want to ruin my pretty bow that I finished. Look at the beautiful top of our box now. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I'm going to put that in. Okay, our next piece of paper is going to be this one. And I want the green side up. So we're going to cut this piece of paper to 11 by 11. Each time we're going to come down by 1 inch. So we're going to cut to 11 by 11. And our strips there. Get my scoreboard back out here. And my 11 by 11 piece, I've got my reference chart on the side in case I lose track of what I'm doing. I cut a mind like a steel trap these days, so that could happen. I want 11 by 11, which is using the extra large lines. So using the extra large line, I'll pull down. I'll go to the extra large line and I'll pull down. I'll go to the extra large line and I'll pull down. And I'm going to go to the extra large line and I'll pull down. And it should have some nice even score lines there. Now I'm going to take my little ruler move my extra pieces of paper out of my way. I'm going to take my little ruler and I am going to find the intersection of my line and the outside of my paper. When I have that, and I'm sure it's in the right place, I'm going to draw a line across there. And I'm going to do that on all four corners. It can help a little bit if you go ahead and crease the paper so you can find those lines a little easier.
Roberta says hello.
Hello, Roberta. Good to see you, friend. Okay, I'm going to come across here. I'm going to find the intersection of those two creases. There's one. There's one. Try and get it nice and straight. Draw a line. One more to go. Okay. All right. And I'm going to cut across those lines.
Kathy Girl has joined us.
Hi, Kathy Girl. We're making a Christmas explosion box today. I have a little bit of white here where I pulled this out of the pad. I'm just trimming that off just a little bit. Okay, now I've got my lines scored. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim on this line on my fold line just up to the fold line on my just to my center fold line there. Now I'm going to come to the other side 180 degrees from that cut. I'm just going to turn the paper around and I'm going to cut this fold line.
Thelma,
And here,
sorry,
that's okay.
Thelma says that she has an idea for making the lid into a house for a Santa house for children.
Oh.
And she can type how you can make the kit and share.
Okay, I'd love to see that. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Okay, I'm going to take a little glue.
Glenn also joined us.
Hi, Glenn. Welcome. We're making a Christmas explosion box today. I'm going to put just a tiny line of glue right across the bottom. Now this is forming the bottom of our pocket, so the glue line is important to not having stuff fall out through the bottom, but we don't want to get all carried away with the glue because we'll make our pocket too narrow. And I'm going to come just a little ways up so that I'm also catching and holding these two pieces of paper together, and I have my full pocket in between. So I'm sticking this piece to the other fold over. And one thing with glue is that it's easy to control, but you have to sometimes hold it a minute so it doesn't pop loose. Now I'm going to come over and I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. I'm going to find my line. I'm going to cut it up to my next score line, fold that over. I'm going to come to this side, turn it 180 degrees, and I'm going to fold this side into. If you find these aren't matching up perfectly, just go ahead and fix it and then just kind of score along that line to kind of straighten it up a little bit. That's an opportunity to do that. I'm going to put a tiny glue line right at the bottom. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Margie. I think these would be great for gift cards right here.
Almost seems like the perfect size, doesn't
Yeah, I bet they are.
it?
I have a gift card sitting here. I have a gift card sitting here.
I was about to say we can test this theory with one of my.
I have one sitting here Laura gave me for having them over the other day for a gift card. Looky there. Got one right there. Right there I have one. Even the colors match on the Outback.
Perfect size.
Yes. Perfect size for a gift card. I like that a lot. There we go. Good idea, Margie. Okay, this one is finished. I don't know if you've seen these, Glenn. A lot of the ladies who are here have. I'm not sure if you have seen this yet. We're using the We Are Memory Keepers explosion board. This board is only $16.99 and it does all the work for us. We get the board, the scoring tool, and templates to make the heart corners on our outside box. We're going to go ahead. We're going to put glue all over the bottom here. We want our box to be nice and solid. Now, this particular paper we're using is ideal. You can use lighter weight paper, but the heavier weight papers like 300 GSM are just perfect for this project. And this happens to be a 300 GSM Crafter's Companion project product that we're using today. So I've got glue all over the bottom, and I'm going to position this in my box. And in order to find my correct position, I'm simply going to line up on all four tabs so that it's nice and even on all sides. There we go. And so now we've got layers 1 and 2 of our explosion box done. We're going to set that aside. We're going to get our next piece of paper, which is, as I did it, this one. We're going to cut this paper. Our last one was 11 by 11, so this one's going to be 10 by 10. And we're going to trim this. to 10 by 10. Set the trimmer aside once more. Grab our explosion board, and our 10 by 10, our reference says, is a large. So we're going to find the large line. We're going to pull down, turn our paper, find large again and pull down, turn our paper, find large again, pull down our paper, and find large again, and pull down our paper. We are going to make this one and do exactly the same thing with this one that we did with the last one, but when we attach it to our card, our pockets will be on these sides. So let's go ahead, get our root. Well, I'm going to fold it because it makes it easier to find that line.
Glenn wanted to know if the scoring boards come in a larger size for different explosion boxes, but this is already starting with a 12 by 12 page.
Yeah, this is starting with the 12 by 12. So the largest board here, or the largest box you're going to be able to make with this, is a 4 by 4 cube, Glenn. Good question. And this is the largest they have. But you know, when you go to actually start putting all of your elements on this, you're going to find that I'm not sure you'd want to be starting much bigger.
Yeah.
Because you get 20 flaps to decorate as it is. So I'm not sure you'd want it to be a whole lot bigger. And it's big enough to fit a gift card. It's big enough to fit some nice imagery. When we finish our cards, I'll show you again how I've begun decorating this and what I'm using as some of my elements for decorating these panels. Some of my recommendations, though, are with this particular one, some kind of vintagey or Victorian Christmas images with these colors, photographs, gift cards. We have the sentiments, the Christmas sentiments that I just put together. I'm using a lot of those quotes and those Christmas sayings, greetings. Okay, I'm going to cut off these corners. Oh, a friend of yours stuffed the pockets with cash. That's a good friend.
If you put well, think about it. You can have a lot of fun. If you put $1 in each pocket and you have 20
Sure.
pockets, that's $20. And wouldn't it be fun to pull $1 out of each one?
Yes, it would.
Slipping in a 20.
You'd have to make, I don't think you'd have 20 pockets, although you can. I'll show you a way that we can have a pocket on every flap if you wanted to do that.
Roberta wants to know if the Simon Hurley foam stamps are out of stock.
Yes. You know, Brittany was giving us such a bad time a week ago Wednesday. I listed those, and she put them on Amazon as well as in the store, and they sold out in 6 days. I did not know when I talked about them yesterday that they were already gone. So, flat ornaments would fit. That's a good idea, Mary R. Some ornaments, photos. Photos are great. Which makes it a real keepsake box if you put some photos in it. I love the way these two colors come together on that flap. Isn't that pretty? I love that mustardy color over the red background. I love that. And that polka dot. Okay, we're going to trim in from the side right along that score line. till we hit the next score line, and we're going to stop there. And that is creating a fold over flap. Come to the other side and create that same fold over flap. I think I cut that just a little bit deep, and if I don't trim this just a little bit, it's going to resist me folding it. So trimming that up just a little, because I think I cut it just a little bit deep. Sometimes on the paper it's a little bit difficult to see the fold line. Oh, that's fun with the cash. Yeah, I like that idea.
Someone says, when will you be getting more of the phone?
It is right now. The distributor is listing it as arrival date unknown. And we know what happens with that from the scoreboards, or the explosion boards. Sometimes it takes a little while to come in, but I'm confident for something that's sold out so fast, both at the distributors and here, that they will be getting it again. It's a Ranger product, so it's a U.S. brand.
Roberta said, I told you so. They will fly out of the door.
They did.
And
6
Ranger cannot
days.
keep them in stock.
6 days, Roberta. I haven't given Brittany a bedtime about that yet. I wish instead of 24, I had ordered 36 or 48 of them. I glued that backwards, but it won't matter because I'm going to need glue across the bottom of the other one too. So I'm closing that up. I'm going to add a little glue line part way down this flap. I don't want to close my pocket, but just enough to hold those two pieces of paper together. And we have our 10-inch layer done. And we will scribble a little glue on the bottom here. I actually put a fair amount of glue on this because I want my box staying together really well. And the glue holds it really well. But I want quite a bit. And once again, I want my pockets to be on the side that they were not on before. And I will lay this down and I'll kind of center it over the last layer to know that I got it straight. There we go. And we now have 3 layers in our box. You know, this is all a lot of people do. I see an awful lot of explosion boards where they have just 3 layers. But of course, we're not doing 3 layers. We need more. We need more and more. Okay, so this was our 12, this was our 11, this is our 10. So this one here is going to be our 9.
Roberta said that she's glad that she did not have to buy 24 of them. So that means that if you bought all 24 of them, Roberta, then that automatically gives you the ability to say, I told you so.
She didn't have to be able to say she told us so, though. Okay, so again, we had 12, 11, 10. So this is our 9-inch line. We're going to cut this to 9, turn it, cut this to 9. Okay, we've got our 9-inch. If we consult our handy dandy reference sheet, we will learn that our 9-inch scores on the medium line. We're going to put this in our machine, in our scoreboard. We're going to find the medium line and pull it down. We're going to find the medium line and pull it down. It's not hard to fit this scoring tool into the scoring line because there's kind of a notch there. If you put it right in under medium, it puts you automatically on the line. Put it in medium and pull it down. And put it in medium and pull it down. Look how it feels like I skipped. I felt like I jumped over there. I think I did. I'm going to ignore that completely because it isn't going to hurt anything. My score tool kind of jumped as I was working, and part of my line's at 11, but I'm going to fold it on the line I want so I make sure that I don't do anything goofy there, and that little score line's not going to hurt a thing. But I will make sure I keep track of where my correct line is. Okay, let's see. What did we do with this one? This one. Oh, yeah, this one. On this card, I did this differently than I did this before because I wanted some photo places. Remember where we had the gatefold? This time, I decided to make this a triple open and just leave these full because I want to put photos there and I wanted a larger space available. Now, if I don't want to have a larger space and I just want a single photo, I could certainly cut these little doors and make them more of a gatefold, but I wanted full pockets there. So that's how I'm going to treat this one. So I'm going to, I'm trying to find the one where I see I already can't find the one where I scored it, where my score line's off a bit. So I guess it doesn't matter as long as I'm cutting on the right line. This time I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut on my line just into my score line so my flap flips over. And I'm going to turn it around on the other side of that. Now, if I wanted to, if I wanted to, I could make, maybe I will do that this time. I could make pockets. I could make foldovers on all four flaps if I wanted to. If I wanted a pocket on all four sides, or not a pocket, but a photo opportunity on all four sides, I can just kind of windmill it, which what I mean by that is I can just go around one space instead of turning it 180 degrees and come clear around to the other side, just turn it 90 degrees and create flaps on all four. I kind of like that. I think that's sort of fun. So this one's done. And I can crease these pretty good so that they stay closed. I could also put a little dab of Velcro or something there if I wanted to, but they're going to stay pretty closed anyway. And this layer's done. So let's put some glue on the bottom of this box. Okay, I'm going to center this right over my last layer. I can get it straight by just looking at how it lines up against the color under it. And if I need to, I can shift it a little this way and that. That's one reason I recommend glue instead of tape, because it's easier to move it. And look how pretty that is. Aren't these colors great together? They're beautiful. Okay, let's see what we did with the next one. I believe on the next one that I just did, let's see, where am I? Oh, that one. On the next one, I just did I cut it. I did not create pockets. I just cut it in. So let's see what color that's supposed to be. I went to the outside color again, which is the opposite side of this, because I didn't have any of this red on the inside yet, and I thought that was pretty. So this time we We did our 12, our 11, our 10, our 9. So this one's an 8. We'll cut this to an 8 by 8. Now you can do whatever you like here, but what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to cut the flaps off. So I just have, what I did with this on mine was just attach imagery, Christmas images to those, because I liked having a place to do that and just put the images on them without having them serve another purpose. So that's what I'm going to do with mine. If you want more pockets, you can definitely make more pockets for the money card or whatever. In fact, before I do this, let me show you another couple styles of pockets. I can do that. Okay, this is my 8 by 8, so it's getting scored on small. Find your line for small. Pull it down. Find your line for small. Pull it down. Find your line for small. Pull it down.
Annette loves the vintage papers.
Find your line for small and pull it down. Now, before I cut these off, let me show you a couple more styles of pockets you can use. One style, no, maybe I'll do it this time. Do I want to do it this time? I don't know. Oh, let me just do it. Let me just make pockets, because why not? Okay, there's two styles of pockets I can do. I can do one all the way around if I want to. In fact, let me do that since the next pocket is a different style. I'm going to cut two lines. One is in our normal place, and then I'm going to cut that flap roughly in half. There's my pocket. I can glue, and I'm going to trim this one off. So what I will have is a little half-size pocket. So I'm going to get my glue bottle that's now hiding, and I'm going to glue a small line across the bottom and a small line at the side to form my first pocket. There we go. Now, I'm going to cut this one. I want pockets on all four sides, we decided, because this is going to be a holder of cash. So I'm going to cut two lines again. This one is going to flip over. This one's going to get cut off. And I have my first two pockets. And of course, if you wanted this pocket to be taller, just trim less off, right? Okay, I'm going to cut this one, and I'm going to cut it at the halfway point, roughly. I'm going to fold that over. So here's another style pocket for you. And I will glue just a fine line along the bottom and the side.
Mary and Roberta are working on sharing some film.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Now, this is white core paper, and see how I have just a little snag there in my white core? It really isn't going to show in the greater scheme of things, but if it really bothers you, take a pen, take one of your colored pens, or take your ink pad and touch that up. It's not really going to show. It's going to be at the very bottom, and it's going to have layers over it. So I'm not at all worried about that. But if it bothers you, and I know for some of you it would, then just touch it up a little bit. It's white core paper. That's one of the things that happens with paper is you get little snags now and again if you don't cut all the way through something, you know. You can get a little snag.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've
Some
never had
people
that
would care
happen,
about
have you?
that problem, huh? No, don't care about it
You
at
never
all.
had that happen. Okay. I will gladly sacrifice and have white core paper for the pleasure of working on 300 GSM paper.
Tis true that the one that you tried with the lighter paper,
Uh-huh.
it turned out beautiful, but it was harder to build it up, if
Yes.
I recall right?
Yes.
So the lighter the paper, the
Yes.
less easy it is.
It still turned out great, though. It really did.
It turned out beautiful.
It just doesn't scream quality the way these 300 GSM ones do. Okay, I'm going to put some glue on this.
Annette says that she uses her distress inks to cover a multitude of lovely accents.
Oh, yeah. Distress inks are perfect for that. And if you have both the pens and the ink pads, you are in fine shape for covering little mishaps. Okay, we'll put this on here and just center it over the last color. Looking great. Oh my gosh, this is pretty. Okay, new style of pocket. All right, next we're going to get the one that has, did I use two of those? I evidently did. I'm going to use a different one this time. This is that's my lids. I don't want to use that. Let's save that one. And I have, I do have 2 sheets of, yeah, I guess this is the one I'm supposed to be using. Okay, last one. We did 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. This is 7. And I cut it to 7. You notice how I always check myself? Doesn't hurt to do that. 7. I'm going to cut this to 7 by 7. Okay. I'm going to get my scoreboard out. I'm going to have my tool says this is an extra small line, so I'm going to go on extra small and pull it down. 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 And this time I'm going to make a different kind of pocket. I want this side to be up. I just decided that because that's what I did last time and I hadn't.
I like that print.
Huh?
I said I like that specific print.
I like
several of the ladies really are liking the paper. And Betty says that she uses dies and cuts tags that fit into the pockets or place in handwritten notes or punch
good
hole
idea.
and tie a ribbon and then ink around the edges.
Oh, I love that. Like for my mom, that's a great idea. For my mom, I could say, Mom, I want to thank you for the time that you did this and so. Mom, I want to thank you for, I was just thinking about the time that you did. Just little love notes, little thank you things for things that happened years ago that she may not even remember now. But just to say, here's the ways you're a special mom. That's a great idea. That's a really great idea. Let's do that. Okay. This time, we're going to do a different pocket. I'm going to cut across here. And then I'm going to cut from this corner, from my corner where my cut started, to the top. And I'm going to fold this for a pocket. Can be a cash pocket, can be a note pocket, can be a picture pocket. What did Betty say? Use the
Uh,
dies and cut tags
Yeah, that's
that fit in the pockets. A place for handwritten notes. Yeah, that's great.
and then Annette said that you can vintage your photos by using your mahogany distress inks.
There you go.
Specifically.
Okay.
And Roberta wants to know if you have this paper up for the
It will
to able
be
to
up
purchase.
later today. I held this back so I could do this class, and I will have some kits up later today that have this paper, the Victorian Christmas images out of the little book. You're not going to get a whole little book, you're going to get the pages that we used. And I'll show you again how I used those so that you'll have that as a reference point if you want to use yours similarly. So we'll go through those again. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to cut from this corner up to the top of my score line. Now I have pockets on two sides. Now I'm going to, again, this time instead of going crossways and making a double pocket, I am making a single pocket, and I'm making these little pockets at an angle. Okay, so we'll end up with 4 pockets here. If you prefer not to have so many pockets, you could certainly fold the flaps so they're doing what they were doing when we did the earlier one. But and this one I think I'm going to trim just a little again because it feels to me like I got a little bit off my score line, and it won't fold right. It won't lay down nicely if I don't trim that extra little bit out. So I'm going to glue these flaps, putting only a line across the bottom to hold my pocket shut. Across there, across here, across here, across here. Now, another thing you could do with some of these layers, if you don't want so many pockets, is that you can easily just cut off all the flaps and leave some that just have single flaps for your pictures. Okay. Betty says there's never too many pockets. Thank you, Thelma. That's very sweet of you. Okay. But it is true too. These are not mass-produced kits. You're kind of doing one of, 30 in the world, which makes them pretty special, doesn't it? Nobody else is going to have one just like it. You're not going to walk into Michael's and see it on the shelf. It's produced by us, for our friends. Okay, there we go. There's the last of our pocket ones. Now let's build our box. And our box is going to be in this pretty plaid. I didn't like this side of the paper quite as much, so I want the plaid on the outside. This time, I'm going to cut my paper to, we've done 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, so this time is a 6x6. We've got 6. We've got 6. Set those aside. Bring our board back in. Sweep our corners off. And this time, our 6x6 is our extra, extra small line. So we'll find our extra, extra small, we'll pull down. We'll find our extra, extra small, and we'll pull down. We'll find our extra, extra small, we'll pull down. We'll find our extra, extra small, pull down. This time we're building a box. So we're also going to score this, just like before, until our blade stops at that intersection. We're coming down, we're scoring until our scoring tool hits that line. We're coming down and scoring until our scoring tool hits that line. And we're coming down and scoring until our scoring tool hits that line. Now we're going to fold this box. Okay, and we're going to fold our corners. Now this is going to be a little different than we do when we're making boxes with our adorable scoreboard, where we're trying to take some of the bulk out. These lids are made to fit a box that has all of the layers still in it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill this channel with glue. We're going to fill this valley right here. Oops, where we just folded that in. We're going to fill that up with a nice bit of glue. We're going to hang on to it for a minute. I like having some of these and some paper clips available when I do this job. I put my paper clips back where they belong. Of course, I didn't.
Oh,
Would you go grab me a couple at the office? The vinyl ones are better than the metal ones, if you don't mind, because they don't crease the paper so bad. Okay, so now that's sticking together. I want it to stick together really good. Yeah, the paper clips really help, Betty G. They do. Okay, now, see if I can show you what I'm doing. I'm also putting glue on one side of this little tab here. I want that channel we just glued. I want to glue that to the side of the box. So I'm going to pull this in here, and I'm going to put a paper clip on it while that dries and I work on my next one. I'm going to... Oh, on the desk, back towards the window, Margie, on top of that little stand, there's a bunch of paper clips in there. In fact, I had to tell Santa, don't bring me any more paper clips, please. Because I've gotten paper clips from Santa Claus several years in a row now. And I don't have anywhere left to put paper clips. I have so many. Okay, I'm going to fill that little channel up. I want it to hold really well, so I'm not sparing the glue. And I'm going to hold this for just a minute while that gets nice and tacky. And then I'm going to come inside and I'm going to put glue on that little flap I just created. Thank you, Margie. This is going to make your box really, really sturdy on the inside. Thank you, Margie, very much. I appreciate it.
Couldn't find his other ones.
That's fine.
But I just
I'll
found
take
them.
what I can have. Oh, you found some? Okay. Thank
Here
you.
we go. They weren't by the window.
I like these ones, the plastic coated paper clips, because they don't tend to crease the paper quite so badly. I'm going to put a paper clip on there. Can replace this big clip now with a paper clip over here. Just let those stay together so they get really, really bonded. And we're getting a nice, really solid box there. Okay, now I want to fill up this little channel with some glue. We're going to have plenty of gluing and little channel building here for a minute because we're going to build two box tops and do the same things. I'm going to fill those up with some glue just like we're doing these. if you don't use all of the layers here, your box lids will be too loose. So it's good to go ahead and just glue all the layers together.
It gives you a sturdy.
It's a really
Item,
sturdy
too.
box, yeah. Okay, and I'm going to put some glue on that piece and stick it to the side of my box. And I'm going to fill up this channel with some glue. The most important place to glue is right along the edge here. Make sure this edge gets nice and tight so you don't have gaps on your corners. So make sure that gets glued really nicely right up to the edge. And then I'm going to put some glue on the inside of my box, the inside flap there. And I'm going to pull that over. Hold it for a second, then I'm going to paper clip it in place. And I'm just going to let that sit for a minute while I build some box lids. Now my little box lid, you can go to your chart on the board and it will tell you the box sizes or the box lid sizes you need. I'm going to build my box lid out of, for my the outside of my box, out of this paper. And I know from looking at the extra large box, we're using the biggest one. So extra large, I need a 6.5 by 6.5 inch piece. So I'm going to cut this to 6.5 by 6.5 for my outside box lid. I didn't get that cut very cleanly. Push that blade in and get a little better cut on that. Okay, 6.5 by 6.5. I'm going to come to my board. I'm going to come to this line that says lid, and I'm going to score this down on all 4 sides. Now I'm going to come into my corner and I'm going to score down just to that intersection of the score lines because we're building a box. It's a little shallow box for the lid, but we are building a box, so we need this corner score. We're going to fold on our score lines.
Just using the board, think of all the different sizes of boxes that you could make.
Oh, so many. So many.
And then you have spoiled them with your kits, Andrea said.
I'll keep buying them, guys. Okay. You keep buying them, I'll keep making them. That's the deal. Okay. I'm folding in on my score lines here. Create my box lid. There we go. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to fill that little channel with glue, making sure we get that glue clear to the outside edge. And we're going to glue that flap that's going to go up against the side of our box. I'm going to fold that in. A little glue squishing out there, that's okay. Just means I did a good job gluing it. I'm going to hold that for a second, and I'm going to attach it with a paper clip. Hold it with a paper clip anyway. I'm going to fill this channel. And I'm going to come inside here. I will link down below this video where you'll find the box board and the kits in our store. For those of you who are on the live stream today, I don't know if you've noticed it, but for right now, I have an Explosion Box tab that, or category that's right under Brit's Bargains. Eventually I'll move it down, but for right now, because we're working on this right now, I have an explosion board category right under Brit's Bargains. You'll see two things, well, three things in there. You'll see the boards themselves and the original board kit in the main part of that category. Then you'll see the all the sentiments that we've written, all the sentiments and quotes and sayings, card greetings that we've created have their own space there, since we had now 7 sets of those in total. That's amazing, isn't it? We have 7 sets of those, 8 if you count the fact that we have the double space and single space scriptures. So I have created their own space for them for right now. By the way, when I posted those, I hope you saw it in the email, but if you didn't, let me say this. Those quotes, greetings, sentiments are on a buy more, get more off sale. So if you buy 2 sets, you get 10% off. If you buy 3 sets, you get 15% off. If you buy 4 sets, you get 20% off. 5 sets, you get 28% off. 6 sets, you get 30% off. You can buy all 5 of the new ones for $14.99 total. That's hundreds and hundreds of quotes and greetings and sentiments. And
we'll print up some more white.
Yes, I think we're sold out of White Christmas and maybe something else. We'll get those restocked as soon as we're out of class today. So if you missed those, don't worry. We're going to put some more back in. That's just a print in-house thing. So we'll definitely stick some more up for you. Okay, our original box is done, so I'm going to steal my paper clips off that to go on this lid. And that's gluing nicely. All right, we got one more lid to make. We have our lid for our little box. Before we do that, let's actually glue our box into our card, because that feels good when you know you have all the layers in. I play these little games with myself all the time.
Along with talking through each.
Oh, I talk to myself too. Sometimes I talk, if I'm having a problem concentrating, I talk to myself through every step out loud.
And it works.
It does work. It keeps me focused. Sometimes I'm easily distracted, and it keeps me focused while I work. Now, this doesn't look like it has a lot of life right now. Everything's kind of flat because we just glued it all down. But once we've had this up and closed and all these layers up, when you open it, then it's going to have that texture we're looking for. Okay. Oh, thank you, Thelma, for reminding people about the thumbs up. Please give me thumbs up if you like what's happening in class. Now, our box lid for our smallest one, well, this is the extra small. So our box lid is supposed to be 4.5 by 4.5. We can take this cutoff piece from the box we just did, and we can cut this to 4.5 by 4.5, which gives us the added advantage of having that kind of match when you open up. you'll see the same pattern that you saw on the outside box, which is nice looking. Okay.
Roberta would like to know if we have any of the heartfelt 8x8 photo albums in.
The which now?
The heartfelt photo albums, the 8x8s.
Yes. They're up now.
I think.
They're up. And they were linked in the newsletter, Roberta.
Oh.
Yeah. They were linked in the newsletter, babe. If you want to go directly to them, you can go to go to die cutting, the die section, and then scan down to Heartfelt Creations. And I kind of put all Heartfelt Creations products there. So it'll be one of the first products in that Heartfelt. Oh, maybe not. It'll actually be deeper in that category because it's a restock item. Yeah, go to your newsletter. That's the easiest way. I linked it. Just click on the picture. I assume what you're talking about is the Insta album. You actually could pull up a link for if you wanted to. Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Just put in Insta album and it should come up. And you can link it. Okay. I've got my lid scored on the score line all the way around. Then I put it back in and I scored from the corner to the score line to create my corners. Everything's ready to go. So now I'm just going to fold these nice and tight. Fold that in. Nice and tight. Fold that in. Nice and tight. Fold that in. And there we go. We got that going. Now we know what we're going to do with that. We're going to get our glue bottle. We're going to fill this little channel with glue. So we get a nice tight seam on our lid. I'm going to glue the inside to the side of the box. Fold it. Hold it. And clip it. Fold it, hold it, clip it. There we go. One side done. Next, I think we'll put our bow and we'll cut our ribbon and do our
Roberta, it's because the Insta album has a dash in between the two and it's a single word, so that might be why you're having trouble pulling it up.
Okay.
But let me get the link and I'll post it right now onto
Mary R already did.
Oh, she's faster than I am. Good,
Thank you, Mary R. You shopping genius, you. Okay, there we go. I'm getting my fingers all gluey. Okay, next up, got 2 more corners to do, and then we can cut some ribbon and put on here. We'll tie a bow, get that gluing. How are we doing for time?
We are at 5:24.
Oh, we're doing great. Look at this. We've made this whole explosion box. And an hour and a half, including a little wait time right at the beginning. So.
And my mom did not believe that it was done even in one day.
Well, you have the right tools. It's easy.
Yeah.
If I had to measure all this,
it would have taken
first of all, I wouldn't have done it. And second of all, if for some strange reason I was convinced I wanted to do it, it would have taken me a long time because you've seen me in measures. It's not that I can't, it's just that I don't wanna. I'm not bad at math. I was actually an accounting major at school, accounting and business management, but I just don't wanna. That was a different life.
Roberta was curious what this actually looks like. So
Okay, well, we'll show you, Roberta. Thank you.
we have
Margie.
one. So
Yeah, I will show you that Insta album here momentarily.
They're really neat.
Okay, we got our last box lid fixing. We got our first box lid is done. That's looking good. Nice, tight, beautiful. Okay, I want to show you how I did my lid. I'm going to get, I'll put this cinnamon in your kits for as many as I have, for as many kits as I can do. I'm going to put this kit that's in here. Excuse me, little hiccup there. We have this Christmas greeting. I'm going to cut this to, I think it's just a little over 4 by 4. Yeah, I'm going to cut it to like 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Which would be a really nice fit for the inside of my lid. See there? 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 is a perfect fit. It's easier if you know who your box is for to sign this before you put it inside the lid. But if you don't know who it's for, then you can wrestle with it later. And we're going to get ourselves a piece of this beautiful, I'm going to get 2 pieces of this beautiful double-faced satin ribbon out here. I think I'll make my bow before I go any further.
Eddie G said that she taught a group of non-crafty friends how to make these, and they loved them.
Oh, yay! And now they are crafty friends. Look at that. You may have a whole group of converts. And Betty, you know where you need to send them to shop, right? Okay. Let's see. Where did I do with my bow maker? I had it here right before class started. I was making a bow as you guys joined me. There it is. There it is. The most unlikely places sometimes. Okay, I'm going to make, this is not a huge box. So in order to create this bow, I think I'm going to try a 4, 5, 4. Let's try that. So I'm going to do a 4. I'll give you the ribbon too, guys, in your kits. 4, because you won't have this one. I haven't ever offered this one. 5. It's a beautiful ribbon. Wait till you touch it. It's so satiny. 4. Down through the hole. Scooch everything up onto the comb. Back to the front side between the 2 number 1s. Tie this off in a half knot. Pull this nice and tight before I pull it off the comb because it is satin and satin slides. Once I've got it off, I'm going to tighten. I'm going to hold one side and pull, then hold the other side and pull. And that bow is glorious. I'm going to, if you have trouble tying your satin, follow Margie's tip. Put a little piece of tape in it while you're tying it. At that very last moment when you're tying the half knot, put a little piece of your finger lift tape in there. That looks beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna put a little best glue ever on this and let it start drying. So when we're ready for it, it might be ready. Oh,
Thelma said that you're being naughty because you're not offering that ribbon.
yeah. I can cut some pieces of this ribbon and sell it to you. If you want some? I don't have bolts of it. It's in 100-yard bolt, and I don't think you'd want to pay the price of a 100-yard bolt. But I can cut some pieces off of it and sell it if you wanted. It is glorious ribbon, I gotta say. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so we got that going. I've got these 2 strips of ribbon I've previously cut here. I'll make sure you have plenty of this ribbon. You'll have a little extra to tie something else with. I get my finger lift tape. I'm going to run a piece right down the back of this ribbon. Tear it off. Run a piece right down this ribbon.
And that says that would be a lot of ribbon.
What's that?
She said that it would be a lot.
Oh, 100 yards? Yeah, 100 yards is a lot of ribbon. It's not a lot when you're making, 25, 30 kits, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to use it up. So sometimes now that's what I'm doing, is cutting it off a big bolt. It's less expensive. Okay, so I rubbed my ribbon, or I rubbed my tape good into my ribbon. Peel my paper off my tape. Run now, find the center approximately. I have never ever measured one of these in my life. Wrap it up tightly on the sides. Okay. Now fold it over, down, use your nail and kind of rub it into the crease at the bottom of the box. Get it right in there to the side. Turn this around, run that down the side, use your nail, kind of push it right into the crease at the side. Now let's get the other piece. I'll go the other way with it. You need 6 feet of that ribbon. You might need 6 feet in your kit. I might have to put 6 feet in your kit if you really like this ribbon. That'll give you a little extra. Okay. I'll put 6 feet in your kit.
We went from 6 feet to 6 yards.
Oh, Roberta. Give her an inch, she'll take a mile. All right. Now, I'll tell you, you've never seen me do what I'm going to do next. Provided I find the paper I'm trying to find. Where's the paper I cut for this? I cut a piece of paper. Here it is. You've never seen me do this before. I'm going to grab a glue stick. I'm liking this tonic one. I'm liking this tonic one a lot. Now, the reason I'm choosing a glue stick is that tape is unforgiving. When I put it in, it's stuck forever. And my regular glue could ripple this lighter weight paper. So this is a good job for a glue stick right here. You've never seen me grab a glue stick before. These are purple when you put them on, which says something great about it to begin with. It dries really fast, so you have to work kind of fast.
And probably on one of those little nice clean mats so that you don't get glue all over your white table that has to be cleaned.
Oh, yeah, but why would I? And I'm going to stick that right in there. And look at that. There we go. And I can actually rub off the rest of it. While it's still damp, I can just rub it off with my hand. So there we go. There's our beautiful lid. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so we got that. Let's do something to our little one. I don't know if we want a double bow. I don't even know if we want this wide a ribbon. I don't think I have anything in a narrow. Maybe I do. What's this one? That's pretty darn close, isn't it? Okay.
Debbie, you may have already covered this, but what size is the paper that's going on the inside? Because with making the lid, it's
4
actually-
and an eighth by 4 and an eighth. The lid is 4.5 by 4.5. So I cut this to 4 and an eighth by 4 and an eighth, and it just drops straight in there. And it goes right to the edges. See that? So it looks really nice in there. It gives you just a beautiful finish inside the lid. Okay, I'm going to use this little ribbon, and I think we probably have enough of this in the store that I can put some in for your little box too. A lot of you have this ribbon, probably more than me. There was a lot of this Offray ribbon went out the door, I'll tell you. Now, I'm not going to include this in your kit, but if you have this little tape, this little tape is just really good for these littler, narrower ribbons. And oops. There we go.
Annette, around here, those bags of several pieces, it's called a bone making class kit.
That is true statement. That is a true statement. I was starting to think, extra ribbon? Have we ever had extra ribbon?
No.
Okay, I'm going to cut myself a piece that's wide enough to cover the top of my box, and not so wide that I'm cutting off and wasting a bunch of it. I'm rubbing my red tape really good onto here.
Muriel, are you asking about the explosion box
Yeah.
board?
Yeah, have you got the box board in? Not only heard from you. I wrote to you. Yeah, I wrote to you the other night, Muriel, but maybe you didn't get it. Check your junk file, because I asked you a question about what all I could do for you, and I did respond. So if you missed it, check your junk file, and if you don't have it, I'll write to you again. It's no big deal. I can help you. We need to get, I believe you said you wanted 2 of the boards though, so we're going to have to get you taken care of really soon, because they're selling like hotcakes. And they'll sell even more once we get this video out there. I still have an order in for them from the other distributor, and I haven't canceled that one yet. There we go. Toughest part of using red tape, bar none, is getting the red liner off of it, but I got it. Now I'm going to have to come up with some little liner for this little tiny lid. This is going to be a 2.5 inch lid, I believe. Yeah, it'll be a 2.5 inch lid. So I'm going to need to come up with some little thing to line this one. That's cute. Sometimes it just pleases me when I can come up with something that I like. You shouldn't praise yourself, but sometimes I just do. You see, oh, Deborah, that's wonderful. Oh.
Annette said earlier that you can imagine with the bags that she had from the dollar ribbon packs that she has lots of ribbon, but when you had your ribbon on sale the other day, I of course needed more.
Of course you did, because I try to tell people you can never have too much ribbon. Sometimes they argue with me. They say, maybe you do have too much ribbon. But you know, I use an awful lot of it. You guys, this off-rate ribbon's really nice to use, isn't it? I like it a lot. I think this is actually off-rate, the big one too. Yeah, it is. All right. Let's cut this off. And
The people that tell you that you have too much, they are wrong. Yeah, but you don't have to find storage for all of it.
Yeah, Margie just said to me, "What are you going to do with all those bolts of ribbon you have on the back table?"
We're
And
gonna
I
have
looked
to
at her and
figure
said,
it out.
"I don't know."
I think that's part of my list of jobs, right? Is to figure out how to organize all of this.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. Yeah. See.
I'm
Now the
going to start back
impossible-
Crafty Friends, Delta variant permitting. I'm going to start back Crafty Friends in August, middle to end of August. I still wanted to wait and see what was happening with the Delta variant before we actually open classes, because once we open them, I don't want to close them again.
Yep.
So I think
See where this
taking
goes.
a cautious approach, and it's just too disruptive to everybody when we close. So I want to make sure that when we're open, we're really, really open. Did I get it? I thought I had it. Now I think maybe I'm under the tape. Okay, let's try again. Okay. There we go. Oh, nope. I just shred my ribbon. Okay, I thought I had it there. This is the toughest part for me. It's just getting the stupid liner off the red tape.
And that says that since they downsized, we've had to rent a storage unit, a 20 by 30 size. And then there was a slight delay and sent a new message that said not all for ribbon. But
Well, hopefully your craft supplies didn't get all stored. Because that would be terrible, wouldn't it, Margie? Margie had to do a project in her house, and that meant that she had to store all her supplies. And that's been downright inconvenient, hasn't it?
especially because I, when having the surgery, it's put me back because that was the week that I was going to start working on the flooring, and so that I could have it all put back. And now it's still, all of my craft supplies are pretty much all boxed up in a storage unit, along with all the clothes that have outgrown Emma, but Lily still has to grow into.
Okay, got it. There's only one little piece. Come on. I think I'm getting cross-eyed trying to do this.
Do you want me to work on it?
Yeah, because I could work on something more productive than this, because they're not going to think this was fun. Oh, there's a piece of it. This is not going to be fun for everybody to watch me pick at this tape for an extended period. Let me see if I can just get this one. Maybe I'll just be lucky and just get it. And if not, I'll give it to Margie and she can work on this while I take you back through the images. Let go. Let go. Come on. Come on.
Now, could you could you put a bow on that little one in the middle too, since it sits
Yes.
upright like that?
Yes.
Because
I'm going to tie a smaller one.
You've got the space to be able to do.
Oh,
height
yeah.
in the
Oh,
middle.
yeah. Yeah, we definitely have the room to do it. Yes. And we're going to.
Diane joined us.
Hi, Diane. Welcome, friend. Okay, I kind of got lopsided there, but nobody's ever going to know that because it's going to get buried. All right, so this is a 2.5 by 2.5, so I'm going to cut a 2.25 by 2.25 liner out of something. I really like this dotted paper. I'm going to use that. Why? Just because I like it. 2.25 by 2.25. Let's see how that fits. Oh, it fits so well I may not be able to get it out to put tape on it. Yes, your measure is 2.25 by 2.25. I'm not even going to try and pry it out because it is in there to stay. It's never coming out, so why worry about it? All right. There we go. We've got our box. We've got our lid. We should probably tie a little fluffy bow, do you think? How's our time?
We are at 5:46.
Oh, wow. Really? We're under 2 hours still. That is outrageous. Wow. We're doing great.
Which is our goal.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to tie a little bow for this box. I got that red liner hanging on to me. It's like it's mocking me. You may have gotten me loose, but you'll never get rid of me. Okay. So where's my comb? I want a little bow for this box. I'm going to do a... I think I still want a 3, maybe a 3-4. What do you think? A 3-4? Maybe. Let's see how big that's going to be. 4. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. 3.
Probably fill your whole top of it, but I think it would look pretty.
Yeah, we got plenty of clearance. In fact, when I make this box here for Cindy, I think I'm going to make a copper or a rose out of this material to go on the top of this box.
That would be pretty.
Won't that be pretty? I think I'm going to create a rose out of the foil. That's my thought anyway. We'll see. Pull it nice and tight. Pull it off. Let's pull these tails down just a little. Clip those at an angle. Let's see how this looks on our little box top. Perfection. It's perfection. Oh, okay. All right. Put a little glue on it, get that cooking. Our other one's almost done for the outside. Whoa, get a little carried away there, Deborah. Oh, best glue ever here. Just a little. There we go. Let that dry onto my ribbon. All right, let's take a look at our images again. And let's see what we might do with them. So first, our greeting image, the one that says Merry Christmas to from, I put in the inside of my box. Then let's look at some of the others. I took, these images, as you know, are 4x6s, which are too big for this, but nothing says you can't cut those down into usable sizes. And I'm not going to show you every single image that I cut down. I'm just going to show you a couple of examples. I'll give you the image, then it's up to you. This one here, I cut this piece. And she looks great right there. Okay. This one is from kind of a starburst image that was too big as a starburst. I thought about putting it on one of my outside flaps. Then I thought that was one that was really easy to cut down without losing anything. So I just cut the circle out. So that one's there. Here's my Santa. Now he looks great, doesn't he? You would never have guessed that he was this great big Santa in here. So you can cut these down. There's my Santa. And I cut the Merry Christmas off the bottom and narrowed him down a little bit. Trying to get you where you can see. Okay, over here, I used this Santa. Sorry if my fingers are in the way. It's kind of hard to hold this and get it in an angle that you can see it. This is the tall, skinny Santa out of your book. And you're not going to get a whole book. You're just going to get one each of the images. That'll allow me to keep the costs down and make these go further, because I only had 2 of these books left. Here is the Santa with the children. He's really here. He really is. Here. Now, I only used just this piece. And then it became this Santa with the kids. I thought about putting mirror on here, and the images were already large enough that I decided that it just didn't need it. Then on my greetings, I love my greetings across the bottoms of these pockets. I think that looks really cool. Here is an image. It's virtually the entire thing. I just cut off all the outside stuff. So I just cut this piece and it fits here. I did like the blue around it, so I still cut it square. You'll notice I trimmed off the points of the star just a little bit, right? Other ones that I put on the flaps, there's the Christmas tree is on a big flap. Here is the angel with poinsettias. She's holding a basket of poinsettias, but I opted for the one over her head. She's an angel. I opted for the one over her head because I thought that it just was a better image. And there's the bird. A bird, I'll make sure you get the bird. Here's the big cathedral with a small group of people outside. I left enough of the windows that you could tell they were in front of a church, and then just grabbed the little group of people. This had 2 angels with instruments. I chose the angel and the harp, but I think it looks good. And there's the big robin on the outside flap. I think this book has a really nice number of themes that really kind of capture that vintage Christmas feel. There's the little girl in her Christmas finery. This is my picture folder here. There's the one I cut out of the Starburst that we talked about. And there's my Santa. So I may be going around for the second time, I'm not sure. Here's Santa with the trees, but I'd rather go around twice than miss something. So I just want to show you where I put them. That one. Little Bird. Another one of my picture folders. Yeah, Poinsettia Girl. I wonder if I changed directions at some point. There's my Cathedral and People, Harp. So I think I've gone around ample times now. Yep. But I want to make sure you know where I put things. So if you want to replicate it, you can. And we're back to that one. So I know we've been around plenty of times. So make sure you get all those images and maybe an extra one or two that you can decide if you like something better. Okay, our bow is done for the outside of our box. Now, let's put this. That's not entirely done. We'll just use the other one for now. And our little bow's not quite done. We'll just steal this one, put in here. For now, we've got another bow coming for that. We'll put this on here. And that, my friends, is our Christmas box. I'm not going to include a full set of Christmas greetings. Lots of you already got those. So if you want the quotes, be sure you pick up the Christmas quotes pack. There's plenty of things that fit the flavor of a vintage box in that general Christmas quotes. There's also some goofy, funny things and stuff that would be fun for, even dad joke sort of Christmas. So there we go. It's beautiful. And we did it all together. So there we go. Any questions over this? I don't have cards to show you for Saturday yet, but we will get together and we will be doing a floral bouquet card kit from Tattered Lace. We're going to make dimensional cards again, and I will have a limited number of those kits available. I figured this time of year we may not have as many sales on the Tattered Lace kits, so I didn't worry that I didn't have an awful lot of them. But if you love it, I love it. If you love it, you might want to grab one of those. And I think just for fun, I'm going to toss into that kit one of these little tiny pairs of scissors, because I'm telling you, these scissors are just cool. Now, I gave Margie a bad time when she showed me her scissors. I said, how can you even fit your fingers in those? I said that to her when I saw hers in her box, and now I got to tell you, this has become an indispensable craft tool. So just for fun and at no additional charge, I'm going to drop in one of these neat little pairs of scissors into your Tattered Lace kit for this weekend, just to entice you in case you're on the edge. You get these little three something for these little super snips. You're going to get these free in your Tattered Lace kit because they're pretty cool. So I'm not going to charge you for them. I'm just going to drop those in there just for fun, just to reward you for buying my kit. Show us the photo album, please. Yes. Thank you, Roberta.
That and
let me set these aside.
Did they see what the kit the Tattered Lace kit looks like for this weekend?
I showed them the magazine, and that's all I have to show at this point. I do have a couple of the papers. This is the colors. I don't even have flowers put together yet. This is the colors that we're going to do. This is the bouquet, and we are going to die cut these. And remember how we did with the other ones? We're going to cut the little layers out of them and stack them up. This is the base colors, but I think you'll probably end up getting some additional die cutting sheets in different colors because you know me, I need variety. So this is the basis of what we're doing over the weekend. And we have wonderful cutting die. Tattered Lace says the die alone for this set is valued at £19.99 for the flowers and the two butterflies. And they are going to be, oh, and you also get not only that die, but you get this really nice, it's hard to see, but I'll demonstrate it in your, you know, somewhere along in the kit. You also get this wonderful trellis embossing folder, which will be just a staple for you once you use this. You're going to love this trellis. So it really is a neat kit, but I don't have an awful lot of them. So we'll do it on Saturday, and then if you want one, snag it, because there won't be an awful lot of them. I didn't have a lot of these. This is the Insta album that Roberta was asking about. It's in an 8x8 format. And they've, what it means by Insta album is that they have already kind of formatted the pages for you. All you have to do is cut your papers to fit. Let me see if I can get this in so I can. So in other words, they're saying cut a 3x8 panel for here. Then you've got an 8x8 panel for here. You've got a 6x8 panel, a 6x8 panel, and a 2x8 panel. These numbers right here represent where you're going to put magnets under your papers so that this will all fold up and stay folded. Then under here, you've got a 4x8 panel. So you don't have to devise all this stuff. They've already done it for you. A 5x8 panel. There's a number 4 for the magnet. You'll put a piece of paper over that, of course, but it's showing you how to apply your magnets so that your book will have those neat magnetic features and you don't have to figure out the magnet placement. This comes up 6x8. There's a number 3. It says put one magnet here. Here's another number 3 up here. Here's an 8x8 page that folds down. They also say you've got a 3 here, so that will stack 3 ways. You've got an 8x8 panel here, a 6x8 panel here.
So it's basically the same as the insert envelopes that you can get. They've just put it
They've
all
already done it all for you. 6x8. Here's a number 2 magnet. Here's a 6x8. This folds out and up. You can do a 6x6 here. You can do the backs of these pages, of course, also. You don't want any craft showing when you're done. Number 2 magnet. So we do have the powerful magnets in the store too. And here's your 4x8. Here's your 8x8 comes up. And magnets 1 and 2 go on this back page. And then, of course, you cover them with your paper. So that number 2 will close down over this section. You have this section kind of writing free in the middle, and then this wraps around, and there's the number 1, which catches the number 1 under here. Yes, you can put paper on both sides of the pages. They only make this one in the craft. However, what I would say to you is that, see, they even tell you on the spine, use a 1.5 inch by 8 inch strip here. I would do that, but you know what I would do first? I would cover this album in a gilding polish in a color that I love. And so I would then cut my papers to be matted. And I would have that beautiful gilding polish color all around it. So get a bottle of gilding polish, cover the entire album, and then cut your pieces to fit and allow a little border. That's going to accomplish two things for you. One is that you're not going to have any craft showing at all. And number two, that it's going to accomplish is that will set your papers back slightly from the edges, so you're not going to get ruffly edges with use.
And when you say covering it, you can go around the square or around the rectangle. You don't technically have to cover, for example, the middle of that.
Yeah, you're going to
Yeah,
put a
you're just
piece
gonna
of
do
paper. You're going to
strips
glue a
because you're
piece
gonna
of
glue a
paper
piece of
over
paper.
each panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the Insta albums look like. This one album folds out and out and out in lots of different ways. Now, these are not cheap, but they are worth it. Even though it's made of craft, when you get done and you've put all those additional layers in here, this is going to be sturdy and beautiful, and you're going to love it.
Mary G hopped on, said that she's sorry that she missed the class.
Oh, that's okay. Hello, Mary G. Nice to see you. So that's what the Insta album looks like, Roberta. They are cool. I used to have a bargain price because I priced them wrong in the store. If you got one of those and the price went up, sorry, this is what they were supposed to cost. I pretty much sold them for what I bought them for. Bless my heart, wasn't I generous? Yeah. So there we go. Baby albums, absolutely wonderful baby album. And it's fun because other than it's different than a scrapbook where you're just flipping the pages. Because it's so highly interactive, you can't help but to engage with what you see on the pages. Very, very fun.
And a lot of people are making these with where they're calling them lap books. It's not necessarily with photos in them even. It's just being able to put them together with little, you can use your papers like you would almost on a card and then use your quotes and things like that. And they're calling those lap books. So
Art
that's kind of
journals too.
interesting.
Yeah, art
journals.
journals.
Would be great.
Yeah.
Weddings. And that's
Wedding, yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
What did I cover it? What would I cover it with first? You want to grab one of those gilding polish bottles back there? I don't think I have one on the table right now, which is funny because I almost always do. Margie's going to grab a bottle of the gilding polish and we'll take a look at that. Hi, Sharma. It's a fun class. I think you'll enjoy it when you watch the rerun. Yeah, I love this gilding polish for projects just like this. I'm not sure this is the color I would use, but gilding polish is this wonderful polish that you can. It comes with a stowed applicator, and you just dip the applicator and you will cover the entire surface. You're basically painting it with a background color. Mine would be purple or blue, probably. Probably not this opal pink,
It
but
was at the top.
Margie likes opal pink.
I do.
It's her fave. Mine would be purple, almost certainly. But yeah.
And
So get a bottle of gilding polish, work over this book. In fact, during our Crafty Friends classes that we had here on site, I had a mother-daughter team grab these, and that's what they spent the class time doing, was painting their books, with gilding polish, so that they could then layer their papers, over the top. Oh yeah, it definitely is, especially this one. This is an opal polish, so yeah, this is a different color on black than it is on white. So that's the Insta album you ask about. Any other questions? This was a good thing to bring up, Roberta. Anything else we can help you with?
Since you were already starting to open up the little topper on that, and you went pretty fast, just in case somebody hasn't seen it, you don't pull them out.
You can work all day trying to get this thing out of here. It doesn't twist. It won't untwist. it won't pull out. You use your thumb and you pop it one direction or the other. You can either pop it that way or you can pull it this way and they pop out really easily. But it will really frustrate people if you hand them this and say, here, open that up.
Yeah.
Because you don't think of just pushing it. You think it will unscrew or pull out. It doesn't do either one.
And the opals tend to be lighter in colors, and the gilding polishes can be both light and
Mhm.
darker colors.
Yes, absolutely.
There are very specific ones in different
Yeah,
areas.
and it's not the only kind of substance that you would use. I just use a lot of gilding polish, so I tend to think of this. But there's cloud paints and there's other. What you want in a polish or paint to use is something that has a lot of flexibility and won't flake off. So there's some paints you wouldn't want to use. I'd be reluctant about using an acrylic because I think an acrylic paint would flake off. You don't want something that's really water saturated, so I wouldn't use a water-based paint.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little careful about what you use because you want it to be flexible and stay flexible over time, which is one of the advantages of this stuff.
And it
But
dries.
the cloud, we have that cloud paint from Cosmic Shimmer. I think that would be okay. That's a similar kind of consistency to this. I don't think that would flake, and we have this one. And we have so many colors in this that if you choose a color you want, we're almost sure to have it. So we have lots of colors in this. And yeah, I would say
Yes.
my personal advice and the way I would do it would be to paint my whole album first, and then I would recess my pages back in 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the edges, because then you're not going to get ruffles at the edges as people handle your album. And the whole idea is to handle the album. So you want your pages to be down securely and slightly away from the edge so that you know your pages are beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom, friends? This was a good discussion. I'm glad you brought it up, Roberta. Anything anybody wants to know? You can always bring up those kinds of questions in here, and if we have the time, we're glad to address them. Perfect. Okay. Well, if there are no questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom, I think that I need to get to work on Saturday's class so that when we come into class, I have some samples to work toward. So I think that's what I do. And on that note, I think I'll say good night, Gracie. Don't forget to mash that thumbs up if you didn't do it, guys. Please. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this, want to see more, give me that thumbs up.